Right. The one that's mostly.
Oh, we're. Hey, did we change the names on all the cards then for Fuel Man or not? Cause it's like Nikki's on one. Tyler's still on one. Does Tyler picking sure?
No, I haven't changed.
Oh, it had not been changed.
No.
We might want to change those.
Yeah, that and Verizon isn't on this.
All right, I've got 6:30. Let's call the meeting to order for Monday, March 20th, 2023. Do a roll call for us, please.
Travis Kramer.
Here.
Scott McCorney.
Here.
Jeremy Hansen.
Here.
Jason Weesey.
Here.
Paul Kraus.
Here. Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall. Item 4, consent agenda. I didn't see anything that I had a concern with. Did anybody have anything they wanted to consider separately?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. If there's no further questions, let's vote on that motion.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason
Aye.
Weesey. Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 5, approval of the minutes from the February 20th, 2023 regular board meeting.
Make a motion to accept the board minutes as presented. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval of the February 20th board meeting minutes as presented. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Abstain.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 6A, discussion and possible approval of security requirements at the auditorium. We have some suggestions based on questions we posed to our lawyer. Basically, we're going to have to I think we either need to have security for all events with alcohol, or we need to write it into our contracts. What happens if people don't follow the rules? What do you guys think?
I think to put something similar to what you guys in there. And say that it's allowed only by special permission, which that's already, they gotta do that. Decide an event over a certain number of people and alcohol is to be served, they need to have security. Now, what that number of people is, I don't know, and that's something we have to decide. They also have, our renter must be a licensed liquor vendor, so I don't know, we haven't done that before in the past, but.
The problem I have is burdening someone that's having a reception that's the kind that don't normally get out of hand with extra expense for security.
Right.
And we have certain events that seem to be getting out of hand more often, and we can't just pick and choose. So either we make everybody do security, or
Leave it as is.
or we put more stringent rules and maybe even fines for circumstances that happen into our contract for when they rent them.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing to. I hate to make everybody do it.
you're having a small social gathering that's not gonna get out of hand, but. Yeah, where do you draw the line?
I mean, we've already discussed with Mike about. Not having a problem with the deputies walking through these events, you know, maybe if we put that in the contracts that. Be it known that the sheriff's department can walk through at any time. And we need a name of a person that's gonna be responsible for the alcohol if it goes out of the building. I think that was in one of his suggestions was a sponsor,
Yeah.
have somebody's name on it, and they're the person that gets in trouble. Is Mike on speaker? Sheriff Robinson, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I've been listening to what you guys, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
No, it's whatever you guys want to do. If part of the contract is they understand and agree that the deputies will do periodic walkthroughs, I don't have an issue with that.
I think that would be a good start. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I think that's a way to allow you guys discrepancy to go in at any time you feel you need to. And then we don't have to worry about you having enough deputies on hand to staff every Saturday night or every Friday night event.
Right, and if it's a large gathering, we'll just automatically just do a couple walkthroughs.
Mhm.
Just so everybody knows that we're around, and if they have any problems, they can just let us know right there.
Well, should we, as a group, decide which ones we want to have added? Or is this something we should sit and think about for a month after looking at our lawyers' suggestions? What do you guys think?
Yeah, probably. Let's come up on agreeance if, number one, we wanna. Put someone's name on the contract as a sponsor, make them, maybe have them word it. Wisely where they're the go-to and they're gonna be the one taking responsibility.
Yeah.
We'll make it known that the deputies will make an appearance.
Yeah.
And they'll be the sponsor will be the man to probably represent and.
Well, let's see if we can all come up with, go ahead.
Are you good with that? 1 o'clock?
12 or 1, I don't know, the liquor licenses stop at 12, don't they?
I think so, yeah, because they're only for the one day. Our contract has always read 1 AM, so I think that's why he kept.
Well, if our contract says 1, I don't have a problem with that. That's what time the bars close anyway, so I don't know. Unless somebody thinks it needs to be midnight, I would be okay with 1. Is that where you were getting
Well, no,
at? Maybe
I think you had said midnight before, so that's why I'm okay with 1.
Yeah.
I just said,
Yeah.
you'd said midnight before, so that's why I just wanted to make sure. that-
1 is better than 2:30, which was the last complaint that we had.
Yep.
So,
So in his wording though, he has nothing as far as like. Loss or fee if alcohol is found outside the building or anything, like what do they lose if they, do take alcohol outside the building?
well, I
Because I know that was one
decide
of
if we
the-
want to monetize that and then. If we want to put that on the sponsor.
Yeah, good. And can they lose deposit, right? Like,
What's the total deposit right now, Kate?
It's $250 for a weekend, which is usually what we get, and then $175 for the one day.
Gotcha.
So we usually end up with that $250.
And we were also talking about maybe making it clear what happens if you don't clean up everything.
Yeah.
Maybe you lose a partial deposit, because what were we were wondering if that was fair, if they lost their full deposit. Is that what we were talking about today?
Yeah, just, I guess to make it clear, because like one of the last parties we had, like upon first glance, yes, it looks clean. They took the trash out, you know, like there's not stuff all over the walls, all over the floor. But then Pam goes to mop and her mop is filled with puke, you know, like they did mop up the puke, but didn't clean. And then she's having to do that and bleach this mop head and whatever. So like, I guess just being very clear in that any mess that is found, you are going to lose X amount of your deposit. I don't know if that's 50%, 100%, you know, whatever, but
It'd be nice to get all these, because I don't know if we have to change that by ordinance or if that's just approval of the board on our contract. That's something we'll have to check into in the next.
I don't know how the contract was originally like, if it was by resolution or what, I'm not sure.
So let's trying to email your suggestions to Kate on which rules you feel strongly about, whether we should do like a half deposit or if it's just the full deposit. If you don't clean up, if you if there's alcohol found outside, you know, put your suggestions in an email. We'll try and have it all written up for approval on next month after we run it by the lawyer. Any other questions or concerns on that? If not, let's move on to towing. And I see one of his suggestions was to write the towing into that contract agreement too, for the auditorium rental, say that, you know, understand that anybody that parks in the fire department vehicles will be towed at their expense. After talking to Sheriff Robinson, I think we can probably run it all through the non-emergency number. He was comfortable having you or the assistant chief being able to initiate those calls. So, Mike, I would think all we need now is just another sign that says, call the non-emergency number. We'll post the non-emergency number if your vehicle's been towed. Are you okay with that? Are you there, Mike?
Mike, can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep. There you go.
My computer's really acting up, so just bear with me.
Okay. All right. Did you hear the question?
We are fine with the fire chief making the call. If you have the signs properly posted, and if the fire department personal vehicles are clearly marked, I don't have an issue with the deputies calling for the tow either.
Okay.
I just don't want them to accidentally tow a fireman's car.
Yep. Well, that'll be on our firemen to,
They all have a fire sticker. They've all been told not to park in those 4 stalls unless they have the sticker in the back window of their car.
Okay.
I'll share a sticker with law enforcement so they know exactly what the sticker looks like. They were also told that if they are attending an event there, they are not to park in those stalls unless they are responding to anything that happens.
okay.
So it's not reserved parking places for carte blanche for the fire department. It's for those responding to an emergency only.
And as much trouble as this has been, I would hope they could understand
No, yes, they
how important it is that they're not parking there without ID. So. All right, well, we'll get signs ordered and we'll put some more signs up there with the number to contact if they do get towed.
The non-emergency number.
The non-emergency number.
Verified that, that's why I
Yep.
asked if that was the
Yeah,
correct number for them to call if it's towed.
right.
Is that gonna be, did he say?
Mike?
Okay.
Is that okay to post the non-emergency number for people that get their vehicles towed to call?
Yes,
Okay,
nope, that's fine. When do you want to start this? After the signs are posted, I'm sure.
yep.
So
Yeah.
as soon as we see the signs posted, we'll start enforcing.
All right, and I'll make sure Dan has gotten the information to you on the stickers. And we'll make sure everybody's in the loop before we put them up.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Item C. I don't know if we just kind of left this in there. The school has been sent the 3 designs. We'll go over this briefly for Travis. In their estimate of the repair project around the school, they have given us 3 different designs for the S curve. Listed in their order of preference, the way they would prefer. Exhibit 1 meets all the state standards for how sharp your turns can be, the radius. And their concern is if we accept that one, then we don't have any issues with losing funding for non-compliant streets.
Okay.
Exhibit 2 would be their second choice, which is still a little bit better radius. And there's kind of a T there. And exhibit 3 would be their least favorite because it doesn't quite meet the radius standards. So
Right.
they've been sent to the school. We've asked for their opinion.
Okay.
We'll get that to them. We're also starting to work on ideas of what it's going to take us to do a bond on this. If we can do a utility bond. We're trying to get the numbers together to see if we can do that with the current state funds. I don't know where we're at there. So we're gathering that information. We're talking to Tobin and his, who was Tobin's assistant that he met, that was Austin was the guy that helped us out with the last street project. And he said he would be the one working on it. So yeah, we're just kind of in limbo there unless the school has any objections to those. I think we can choose the one we want. And we'll move forward with that when we have more information and decide if we want to fund that project. So. I think that's about all we had on streets was checking into that. Do you have anything to add on the streets report? Let's move on to item C, discussion and possible approval of quote for parking stall painting downtown. Where are these at, John?
Just pretty much all downtown where there's businesses, starting at 3rd Street or yes, 4th Street and heading to the east. And then stopping short of the alley before you get to 1st Street. And going down, like, of course, in front of like the veterinarian clinic and stuff like that. I think we had crosswalks on up here in front of the buildings and then the next intersection up. There were the only crosswalks. As far as the price that we received, I think we budgeted 10,000 because of the signage we will have to put up on crosswalks. If there's a crosswalk, you must stop for pedestrians. That would be the only other expense. So I did have other prices originally, but I contacted them and they never got back to me. So this is the only one I can get, unfortunately. If you want to wait, I think it's going to put us behind the 8 ball a little bit more for getting them here.
So is that like doing red areas around the?
It is.
Hydrant?
Yep. It'll stop them. It'll stop them short of the intersections as well, so that they're not parking right up to the intersections. You know, give it a little bit more walkability. As I think Nikki had attended a class about walkability downtown and a little bit safer for everyone. And alleys, it'll stop them shortly. I know you see the alleys and people park almost in the alleys a lot. So, and once they're originally painted, I think we should be able to maintain them because we'll be able to see the lines and stuff, but they have gyms and everything to where it should be a pretty decent job.
And you think we'll have no problems getting the signage for the rest of what's? budgeted?
No, and I kind of looked around, I think we can put them on light poles,
Okay,
so they should be pretty visible. And then our deputies can enforce that a little bit more. It's hard for them to enforce parking now, because we have no gauge of where to stop parking.
Historically, has there ever been any lines on County?
I have never seen mine.
I mean, I know I'm not like that, and there's never been, I don't know.
seems like I don't know if I ever remember them from the post office, but
The only place we have lines right now currently is in front of the senior center, which is the handicap stall.
and this is gonna be the same direction that everybody's currently parking.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just.
Parallel parking. Diagonal, not parallel, yeah.
Correct. I don't want to have that thrown at us. Well, now you changed it. We never talked about it, so
No, this company's on.
you'll be able to direct them how we're parking now. Okay.
I'm surprised that guy just down the street here didn't want to quote this project.
Who's that, Scott? I had no idea there was another guy in town.
Yeah, I gave him,
Parking
I
lot.
actually gave him one of my cards and I told him to talk to you.
I had no idea there was a person in town that did that.
Is that next to the empty lot?
Yeah,
If you guys want to hold back, I mean, I have no problem with it, but I didn't know there was another guy in town.
Might be tough. I said, if we wait another month there, you're right. I think we might be tough.
I think we're gonna, yeah. Last year, I couldn't even find paint to paint the lines. That was.
well, that's what the guy, when I asked him last year, he said, white paint's hard to
And
find.
this guy said he can get it, so.
Well, we need a motion to accept this a bid or to wait on more,
That's,
whatever you guys want to do.
doesn't matter to me.
He's got the paint.
That's what he said.
Well, I'd say we're under budget. Just do her.
I'm gonna say the signage is probably gonna be in the $1,000 range. I mean, I didn't get prices on the signs, but I imagine it'd be more than 1,000.
Was that a motion?
I will make a motion to approve an estimate for a K&K parking lot painting. The estimate of $7,825 plus signage fees.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the bid from K&K Parking Lot Painting in the amount of $7,825. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item D, discussion and possible approval of quote for cold patch from Omni.
This is kind of a confusing quote. I even emailed the guy a couple times and asked him. From my understanding is I asked for a price on the biggest load they could bring out, just because trucking's the most expensive part of it. He quoted me at 18 ton at, I'm assuming that's $175 a ton for the material and $198.04 per ton plus 40 cents per ton for the hauling. I don't know if that rate, I even asked him, if the rate goes down or up if we don't need 18 ton. So it's kind of confusing. If you guys want to hold off on this, we can. I do know we have a few spots that I want to get fixed before the rain starts coming, because it just gets in the gutters and it just washes everything out then. My suggestion would be to just,
Do we need 18 ton?
we don't need 18 ton, but we'll use it eventually. I mean, it crusts over, Scott, you know, it crusts over, you can
Break it up.
pull the crust off of it and use it for a year, probably.
Can we make a motion to up to 18 ton? Or that?
You can do up to 18 ton, and I can see if we can get 12 ton.
let's put it that way, for the same price, unit price on the hauling. Right now, the gas prices, diesel prices are between that 428 and 475, so they're gonna add a 40 cent charge per ton. If they go down, diesel prices, they may drop that. I didn't even ask about us hauling it because I've never seen them have anybody else haul it, so I can ask about that though. But you could approve it up to that, and if we can go down and get it and save that hauling fee, then we may save the 198.04 per ton.
It would put it down to,
Then
The
that should be
175.
175, I would think.
John, what are the three different lines? What do they mean?
They're all
all
the
look the
same
same.
line, it's just a different plant.
Okay.
So then I would think the number of miles is different then, but it's,
I even looked up the plants. The only one I could find is the one up Giles. I didn't find the other plants, so. I'm assuming they're fairly close in miles.
This
I
is where
wonder
we
why
got
they
it.
list them all separately if
I don't
they're all
know.
the same price.
Yeah, like I said, I tried emailing this guy and he never got back to me. I'll try and call him. To see if he has an answer.
The same place we got it before or not?
It is the last 2-3 years, yes,
Looks like there's a surcharge rate
of 40 cents per
more, right?
per ton. So I'm wondering if that surcharge stays the same, the less tonnage you haul, or if the price per unit goes down or up. I'm assuming it's gonna go up. The less you get, you know what I mean, because you're driving anyway.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to approve it to a certain amount, and then we can get under that amount. I looked back to what we budgeted for this. I couldn't find anything. So we usually budget, I want to say 6,000 to 8,000 for the cold patch.
Well, if you got 18 tons at $200 a ton, that would be $3,600.
Yeah.
Surcharge is 40
Another 40
cents per ton. It's 35.71.92.
So if you approved it to that amount and it was under,
Yeah,
and we could haul it, then it's a win-win. I mean.
how much can you haul in our truck, you think?
Right on the 14 tons.
So it'd be a couple trips probably.
Well, no,
Or you just do one.
you just do it in one trip. I mean, and then I think that'd be enough. I just did the most they could haul on one truck without a pup behind it.
Sure.
So get our biggest bang for our buck.
Mhm.
So
so
from
you had a number
75
for 18 tons that you figured.
With the 40
Yeah.
cents.
So if you go to 50 cents surcharge in case it goes up, it recalculates the first of the month. 3,600 to be safe.
Yeah, I'd say we make a motion for that.
John, does that work?
Yeah, that's.
We round up to make sure if the surcharge went up, you don't get caught.
Yep, that would be great. And like I said, if we can haul it, we'll sure go haul it, but. In the last couple of years, they've never said, well, you wanna haul it, so.
You got the number on the calculator.
I motion to approve the omni bid not to exceed $3,600.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the quote for cold patch from Omni Engineering in the amount of not to exceed $3,600. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Jason Macy.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hanson.
Right.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Discussion and possible approval of cleanup days on April 29th and May 6th. I see we've already sent them out, so.
That's from last year. I
Oh,
asked her a quote and she was like, it's the same as last year. So I just put the invoice from last year on there, but. Yeah, yeah. So it'll be that price.
And what are our hours on those? I forget. 8 and 1, 8 to noon,
No, 8 to 3.
8 to 3. So I suppose we just need a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the cleanup days for April 29th, May 6th, 8 to 3, and at the cost of the roll-offs of $1,600.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second for approval of cleanup days and pricing on the dumpsters for $1,500. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
All right. Item B, water and sewer. We have a report in the packet. James, we have been told, was out for back surgery today. And Kate met his sub today.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
called me. I didn't get to meet him personally.
Sounds like they're moving forward with some tours on preparation for quotes for the skating equipment. The grinder's been installed. Anybody have any questions or concerns on the water or sewer?
Kate ran a report last month or so, and it was the number of gallons billed versus the gallons pumped. Just as a curiosity, I think you spoke with Mike and asked what the normal lossage was.
Yes, and it was, he said like industry standard was 10%.
10%. I was just curious, like compared to how many gallons we bill for. You know, how many gallons do we pump out of the tower? And you can see that our lossage is typically anywhere from, well, a few months are excellent. September, October, November, 841%. But most of the time it looked like it's 20, 30, and even June of last year was 50% loss. Using the word loss loosely, meaning it's unbilled and where that goes. Now, John, I spoke with you a little bit about maybe things that are metered. Like, what did you say
The baseball softball complex down the Two Rivers is metered.
is metered?
The pool is metered, or the splash pad, I should
Yeah.
say, is metered. The pool, we should be able to get a pretty decent gauge, I mean, within reason. I think that what other ones that were listed on there that are not metered?
That list, I don't know how accurate.
Village Hall is metered.
Oh.
It has a meter. We just don't, there's no reason,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know about the fire department. I'd have to check into that.
Nothing's metered there.
There's nothing's meter in the fire, there's no meter in that pit.
Not that I know of.
Okay, but you guys use a very limited supply of water. I mean, you take
Yeah.
it from a hydrant or whatever. Well,
Majority of the time we're filling trucks, it's gonna be off of a hydrant. There is 3 fill stations, 2-inch fill stations in the building that we can fill the trucks off of, but it's a rarity we use those in there.
we probably use them more than you do.
Yeah, you guys use them a little in the summer.
It was more of a curiosity for me.
Yeah.
You know, where's,
I don't know about the library side or anything, John, if they've got a meter.
I don't
already
think
that.
so. I don't think they do. The big one would be the splash pad, that is metered. The softball complex is metered. And them two are gonna use probably the most water in June.
right,
They're gonna use a lot.
but they're not, we don't have those numbers anywhere, so that would be part of that.
We have kept track of them.
Oh, okay.
before. I think, I want to say that the splash pad alone. It's a substantial amount. I want to say it's in the millions per year.
Okay.
That thing goes. So. But this summer, we can look into a little bit more.
It was more of a curiosity because we had months in the 30, 40, 50% range.
Yeah, and that's and with the softball complex, baseball complex. Maybe that's something that we need to look into, charging some sort of a rate.
It may be, I just curious if we don't have a bigger leak somewhere or something else happening that we're losing the water.
And I know Merritt had expressed some concern about the pool refilling it and stuff. We're still trying to get to the bottom of that one, so.
Got it. Okay. Nope, that was it. That was the conversation.
Item C, police report, Washington County Sheriff's report. Do you guys have anything for us? Committee wise?
Yeah, it's besides the state sending us the notice on the speed limit,
Yeah.
which the state or DOT pretty much approves themselves, so let's bring it to.
Mike, do you have anything to add on sheriff's report or the new speed limits in town? He did text me he was having computer issues during that last one.
Yeah, maybe, so.
Anybody have anything for Sheriff Robinson other than
Are we doing on permits for like ATV, UTV?
No, it slowed down a little bit.
Okay, I think I'm on again.
just curious if you had any comment on the new speed limits that the state has proposed or anything on the sheriff's report that you wanted to talk about?
Nothing on the report unless you guys have anything, new speed limits. I know the deputies all support it.
Yeah. Well, anybody have anything else for Mike?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Well, I'm
Appreciate you.
gonna stay on for the summer sizzle.
Okay. All right. There's no other concerns for the police section. Let's move on to park. Item D, committee report. Travis and Jeremy, do you guys have anything new?
No,
Travis, have you spoke with Clapper about the shelter lately?
I haven't lately.
Because I think that's something that we need to get going on before the pool opens, just so we don't have a mess. Maybe by next month's meeting, we can get.
I can drop them a line, just asking. Yeah. No problem.
That way they know what time, when they need to be done with that project and everything else.
You got it.
All right. Monthly library report. Anybody have any questions or concerns on the report? Yeah, not, let's move on to discussion and possible approval of payment method for library Amazon account. So what do you guys, I understand that you guys are looking for books at a new avenue than what has normally been done, so we're concerned that our Amazon account, we can't charge a certain amount on there.
I guess our question is, can you raise the limit of the Amazon account? Is that something that can be done? Can we have a separate one that you have a separate card on? You know, that would just be for the libraries that would, you know, as far as billing, it would be separate, so you'd be able to tell which ones are for the library. You know, we don't know what you can do, but it is certainly easier for Julie to be able to order from Amazon because I don't want to hurt Kate, right?
Yeah.
If she had a list of $30 that she needs to order, it's it's, you know, kind of counterintuitive to have Kate do it, so.
And did you get anything from our accountant on how we could do something different?
I mean, so just essentially like, you know, they have their library budget and they are in charge of maintaining it. And I guess however they do that, you know, as long as like, if they were to have their own card, we would get a bill for it and pay it the same way that we do for their Ingram invoice, you know? So, I mean.
Consent agenda probably, wouldn't it be on there?
Yeah.
I mean, we have things we pay out for all the time that are.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if it's over $500, it would be on the consent agenda.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, they're in charge of their budget. They know what they can spend. So it's, you know, like we could raise our credit card limit, you know, because I think it's at like 2,000 now. And I guess my only concern was that like John and I both use it for, you know, whatever comes up. And like there have been times that it's gotten close to like, oh, we don't have room on this card for whatever. And we have to do an immediate pay for it. So like to accommodate the library as well, we would need to raise that credit limit. Or they would have their own, I don't know, but you know, they're in charge of their budget. They can, you know, charge what they want. It's just a matter, I guess, of having space for it in some
You just
capacity.
set up its own separate government account, don't you?
For the library for Amazon. I mean, yeah, totally.
That would be the
Just the
route to go.
payment method of, how do they want to pay for that?
Right.
No,
I think that would make sense. And you wouldn't have to worry about not affecting your ability to order something.
Right.
I like the idea of keeping it separate, but yet. We're not slowing you guys down any, because this whole thing. It's never been a matter of trying to rein in the library. It's just a matter of always trying to comply with the state rules. you know.
Right, and we realize.
We
that.
want you guys to have your budget to spend it however you want, and let's look into setting up another account with a card specific for this, I think would be, is that what everybody
That makes
thinks?
sense to me.
Getting them. a
Separate
part of
account.
their-
Is it their own separate credit card or is it just their own separate Amazon account? Because I was thinking we have a government account for Amazon, don't we?
Well, yes, but we have our village card attached to it to pay for.
Oh,
things.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like, it's not the
Village-
Amazon account itself that's the
It's
issue,
the
it's the
issue.
payment method,
Yeah.
with our village card. That only has a certain credit limit,
Gotcha.
Let's see how we can set that up separately so that it's all tracked with you guys, and then there's no concerns of hitting our credit limits, so.
But they still need the means of the credit card, right? They need their own credit card.
Is that how we do it now? We do it, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna have,
That'd be the easiest.
Well, what does that pool do?
They have a Walmart.
they have a
card
Walmart card,
that's a net 30.
Gotcha.
so we just get to go for that.
That's why that one's on the.
And I think they have a Sam's account as well. They used to.
They used to, they don't anymore.
They don't anymore.
you're gonna have it, even with a separate account, have to be something attached to it, so. How does that happen with this? I mean. Does the library apply for its own credit line?
Right, yeah, I'd have to look into that, because I'm not quite sure exactly how that would work. But. I mean, the village has the Walmart cards and we give one to Tam for custodial things and we give one to the pool for pool things, but it's the village's card, I guess,
Sure.
So,
First authorized users.
yeah, so if the village, itself had another card that we just gave to the library and it's the library's, then. Yes.
We'll see what it'll take to do that, and ask Rick if we need to make any more approvals on that, or.
But if they have their own card, we're still stuck by the limit then, right?
Yeah.
Or not, so you would need
Well,
to
they would have
increase
their
the limit.
separate limit, and then
They'd have their own separate limit for it.
that's what we would be going for, I would think.
Perfect.
So then they just
Okay.
manage that credit limit and their budget and then we, pay the
Pay the
bill as we
bills.
always do, yeah.
All right, we'll work on that and see how quickly we can get that going for you. Sorry to make you wait through
That's all right.
all the boring stuff.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your time. Item D, annual summer sizzle request for approval. Looks like you showed up just in time.
How'd I do that?
Looks like the same thing as last year, only different dates.
Yeah, I don't think there was, I don't think we changed it. Did anything change, Kate?
Yeah,
Did I do something?
and it was,
Oh, the Village Auditorium.
Petting zoo?
the talent show, was that it?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. We're gonna do, planning to do a talent show this year, and so we'll set up chairs like we did for 150-year celebration, and we'll clean everything up when we're done.
We'll get the air going early.
Yeah, that's true. And then I think in there, we're still in this planning stages. I don't know if we're gonna try to serve beer or food or anything at that, or if. I don't think on a liquor permit, I know the post-prom committee is gonna have a street dance. And I thought about offering to them if they wanted to sell beer, but I don't think they can have two different locations for a liquor permit, so I don't know what that would cause, but.
That would be, otherwise, what we did in the past, and it's been requested here, is BYOB, that, you know, there is allowed alcohol in the building if people bring it in that night, so that's still in play. If you'll still approve that, so. Otherwise, unless you guys had any questions on it,
We don't still use that portable generator for anything, do we?
we don't.
Okay,
No, because, you know, you get.
we've got all the power down there. Yeah, yeah.
I guess I could have pulled that, is that still listed in there?
Might as well leave it in case you need it.
I think that's right.
Leave it in case you need it, but I was just curious. I thought we had that problem remedied, so, yeah. So we can make a motion to approve all these as presented?
Hey, Paul, I got one question.
Yes.
The stray dance, and you talked about getting a liquor license for July 1st. If you go past midnight, you're gonna have to include July 2nd.
Okay. We'll make sure they know that. That would be the post-prom committee that's doing that. All right.
And let that, I mean, that's their responsibility to get it for their event.
All right, we'll make sure post-prom knows that.
Right, but you guys still have to approve the consumption.
Okay. If they don't have a liquor license for us to approve yet, we can't do that yet, but I'm sure they'll be working on that before then.
No,
So,
I just see it on your agenda, consumption of alcohol, City Park, Bell Creek Park, Two River Sports Complex.
I think he's suggesting that one go through July 2 instead of July 1.
oh, I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying now.
Depending on when everything would be on the first, if it's gonna be wrapped up by midnight or if it's gonna be.
It's wrapped, yeah, it's wrapped up by midnight. The code that would actually be Friday night would be the street dance into Saturday.
Okay,
What's.
And I think they're, Saturday night, it'll be over by 11, and we don't sell alcohol at that event, that's just allowed that.
Yeah, the Friday night event is post-prom, and then Saturday, that usually wraps up before midnight, the fireworks and
Always
everything.
does, yeah, I mean, the band is tearing down, but everybody's gone.
And then the rain date of the second, if needed, that would be the same hours.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, we'll make sure that the post-prom knows on their liquor license that they have to get it for those times or get it for 2 days.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns?
Make a motion to accept the annual summer sizzle requests as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and then the second for the approval of the annual summer sizzle requests for the weekend of Friday, June 30th through Saturday, July 1st, with a rain date of July 2nd if needed. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Hi.
Scott McCorney.
Bye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item E, cemetery. Anything new going on there?
The report on this end, unless you know of anything
I
else.
haven't heard anything on the lights. I mean, maybe we need to ask the Vets Club sometime when they're gonna
Yeah, but
get going on that.
to meet with them. See how you think they'd want it before Memorial Day.
Yeah. That going.
It'll be,
I think you pretty much given them all the money that we were gonna give them.
Yeah, they should be set.
Did Trevor talk to you about a tree grant for a tree out there?
We have a contract or a party that's gonna come in and remove the one tree. I do know that.
Got it. So you know something about it.
Yep, they're gonna remove the one tree because we have budgeted for tree removal.
Perfect.
all right, item F, administrative. Did anybody have any questions or concerns on the Washington County building permit report? I see we had one highlighted electric, small stars.
Hey, did you get the notice that the building inspector passed away?
No.
Oh, passed away last week.
Robinson?
No, the new one.
Replaced him at
Darren.
Darren.
I didn't know there was any.
Darren had replaced Chris like in November, December, sometime in there. He had a heart attack last week and died. So I don't know where the county's at in that process.
Oh, sure.
Well, right now, Jesse Robinson is taking over and it's only gonna be like Tuesday, like 2 days a week. So you have something that has to be done in that time.
All right, let's move on to B. Kate, you got all kinds of exciting things to talk about after your weekend.
So much knowledge. Yeah, I included a list of some of the sessions I attended. I don't know, lots of good ones. Learned a lot, took a lot of notes. Yeah, it was good.
Is there anything you learned that you're concerned about in our process?
Not severely, I guess. One of the bigger, I guess, something I didn't know, and it sounded like most of the room didn't know either, was that you can't go into an executive session to discuss wages. We always have, and a lot of people didn't know that, which I think is interesting. But honestly, though, after going to that and getting the experiences of several towns, like Arlington does pretty well. We're pretty set up. I think Nikki organized the office very well to I have all the dates of all the legal requirements. I have, what needs to be published, what needs to be posted, I don't know. I feel like we're doing pretty
Great.
well in comparison to a lot of towns, so.
Good.
That's good to hear. And I'm really happy you got to go to that institute right away. Yeah, that's good. And thank you for coming in on Saturday and wrapping things up for our meeting. So. All right. Item C, discussion and possible approval of deputy clerk job position. Anybody have any questions or concerns on that? Let's see, that's page. What page is it? 92.
You feel like it needs to be a 30-hour or 40-hour person or 30-hour good or?
It could be 30 hours, I think. I don't know that it necessarily needs to be the full 40.
Well, if we go 30, then do we keep all the benefits with it?
That's what I'm saying. We won't have to do all that. I mean, it kind of evolved to that, but
I know for a fact that before Kate, we lost at least 3 deputy clerks because there was just not enough for them. Whether it was the 30 hours or the pay or not having benefits. So I feel like we were pretty fortunate with the time that we had for Kate to learn. I don't know. I would hate to see us. I don't know either. I mean, and if Kate's gonna tell us we don't need 30 hours, but I worry about getting into that. I worry about getting into that cycle again where we can't keep someone because, oh, they need insurance in lieu of insurance. They need more than 30 hours.
That's probably what you were feeling when you're in that position, right?
Yeah, mostly benefits, Skylar and I getting kicked off our insurance, because we aged out of it and not having an option, and that $600 has helped a lot. So I think that was the biggest thing. But I don't know.
I'm in favor of keeping it the way it is. I would certainly listen to anybody that wants to change it. I don't know that it needs to be 40 hours, but I remember how we've had such a carousel of deputy clerks that.
I'm sure there's weeks it could definitely be a lot less. And some weeks it's a full 40, like
Yeah,
most
it
jobs.
really varies. So
I agree with you, Paul, like trying to find someone and say 32, no benefits. It's gonna, and keep them. That, right, we're looking at keeping the person that we hire. I think we should stay at employee and benefit. We have it budgeted, right? So
Yeah,
it's not like it's a new position that we're, right? We now hire and replace, so. It makes sense to me, and I would make a motion to go forward with. As stated, with 40 hours of the pay with the benefit.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the deputy job clerk description. As presented. I would assume that means we can go ahead and advertise.
Yeah.
You can do it online, Fremont, what are you all doing over
So Nikki had it on Indeed, so I was gonna post there. And I believe she posted in the local, the Citizen. And,
Where'd you find it at?
so
Word of
I
mouth?
had originally found it on the Facebook jobs that I don't think is a thing anymore. I don't know. I can't find it anymore. But I had originally seen it there and then I saw it on Indeed and then my mother-in-law saw it in the newspaper and then she told me to apply. So all of the above.
Gotcha.
We had it covered there.
Yeah, saw it everywhere, so.
Anything else for Kate?
Did we start hiring for the pool and stuff already then, or? Merritt's the manager, we know that.
Yep, Merit's
So-
manager. She's got assistants going through training, the normal training they have to do. So yeah, I think they're in good shape.
Did we not vote on
I
that?
don't think we.
I'm sorry. We forgot to vote on that. We had a.
We need a
motion and
vote.
second.
Okay.
Oh, that was my fault. I forgot. We had a motion and a second for approval of the deputy clerk position. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I did have something on my report. I don't know if you guys read the big things to the Egan Supply for doing that. I know fall here with Egan Supply, so they did that gym floor for us for nothing this year.
Worked out pretty good.
Worked out well for
everybody.
Worked out for everyone.
I wouldn't wait so long though.
Yeah, it was really thirsty. We'll have to do it again next
It's done a nice shine to her now, huh?
year.
Nice. Yeah, it worked out good.
And with that, I will probably start advertising for I have one guy coming back from last year for part-time. I will put that out probably in the next month or so for another part-time.
Someone had asked me to. Have me as a reference, so I'm assuming they applied.
Well, if they've asked me already, I could just go apply with the cities.
Gotcha.
Yep. We have to do one applicant, I know. But I think by law, I have to put it out there.
No.
Before we get to adjournment, did we want to go into executive session for personnel matter?
He doesn't have any.
I don't have it. I'm so sorry. It's in my other book. I didn't bring it.
Okay. All right. We'll go over exit interviews next time.
I will have it ready.
Well, if there's no further discussion, questions or concerns. Got the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer,
Yes, I.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Boy, guys, don't get used to these. This is like a new record. I don't know what happened. This is the shortest meeting.
We wanted to show off with you here.
No, I'm getting.